The Idaho Student Killings, a legal deep dive into pretrial maneuvering. Dive into the complex legal battles unfolding before the Idaho Student Killings trial. What hidden strategies are at play, and how might they impact the pursuit of justice? Give a like and subscribe, leave a comment. On November 13, 2022, the lives of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogen, were tragically cut short. They were fatally stabbed in an off-campus residence, sending shockwaves through the community. Bryan Kohberger, a criminology graduate student at nearby Washington State University, became the prime suspect. He was arrested on December 30, 2022, and subsequently charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. Kohberger entered a plea of not guilty, setting the stage for a high-stakes legal showdown. His defense team has indicated their intention to present an alibi, adding another layer of complexity to the case. The trial is currently scheduled to commence on August 11, 2025. However, the path to trial has been anything but smooth, marked by numerous legal challenges and delays. The legal process is often a marathon, not a sprint, and this case is no exception. Numerous pretrial motions, hearings, and legal arguments have significantly slowed the case's progression. The family of Kaylee Goncalves, one of the victims, has publicly voiced their frustration with the slow pace of the proceedings. They, like many, are eager to see justice served. Even the presiding judge has expressed concerns about the delays. The judge has urged both the prosecution and defense to streamline their efforts to expedite the process. The pretrial phase is crucial, setting the stage for the trial itself. Several key areas have been the focus of intense legal debate and scrutiny. One major point of contention is the defense's access to evidence, particularly information related to investigative genetic genealogy. This technique played a significant role in identifying Kohberger as a suspect. Kohberger's proposed alibi is another critical area. The defense's ability to present a credible alibi could significantly impact the outcome of the trial. The gag order, restricting public statements about the case, has also been a source of legal wrangling. Its purpose is to protect the integrity of the trial, but it has also faced challenges. The gag order, initially imposed to limit pretrial publicity, has faced significant pushback. Media organizations and the Goncalves family challenged the order, arguing it infringed on freedom of speech. The judge initially denied these requests, emphasizing the need to protect the fairness of the trial. However, the judge later issued a revised gag order in June 2023. The revised order allows for discussion of topics that do not materially prejudice the case. This represents a compromise between the need for transparency and the need to ensure a fair trial. In August 2023, the defense team revealed that Kohberger was driving during the late night and early morning hours of the killings. This statement forms the basis of their alibi defense. However, the defense has been unable to specify Kohberger's exact location at specific times during that period. This lack of precision could weaken the alibi's credibility. The defense plans to call a cell phone tower expert to corroborate the alibi. This expert testimony will likely focus on cell phone data to establish Kohberger's movements. The prosecution has asked the court to limit the alibi defense, arguing that it lacks sufficient detail. This legal battle over the alibi is likely to be a key point of contention at trial. The defense has launched several attempts to have the indictment against Kohberger dismissed. These motions represent a significant legal challenge to the prosecution's case. One argument centered on alleged errors in the grand jury instructions. The defense claimed that the grand jury was improperly instructed, potentially invalidating the indictment. Another argument focused on alleged failures by prosecutors to comply with jury selection rules. The defense argued that these failures could have compromised the fairness of the grand jury process. Ultimately, the judge denied both motions to dismiss the indictment. This decision allows the case to proceed to trial, but the defense may raise these issues again on appeal. Investigative genetic genealogy played a pivotal role in identifying Kohberger as a suspect. Investigators used DNA found on a knife sheath at the crime scene to trace Kohberger's ancestry. The defense sought access to the sealed genetic genealogy evidence, arguing it was essential for their defense. This request sparked a legal battle over access to sensitive investigative information. The judge initially limited access, but later allowed defense investigators to view the material. This compromise allowed the defense to examine the evidence while protecting the privacy of individuals identified through genetic genealogy. The defense has also called for the suppression of evidence stemming from the investigative genetic genealogy process. They claim it violates Kohberger's constitutional right to privacy. The defense commissioned phone surveys of potential jurors in Latah County. These surveys were designed to gauge public sentiment and identify potential biases. The judge criticized the surveys, expressing concern that they could hinder the selection of a fair and impartial jury. The judge worried that the surveys could taint the jury pool. The judge temporarily paused the surveys, but later allowed them to continue without modification. This decision reflects the court's attempt to balance the defense's right to investigate potential bias with the need to protect the integrity of the jury selection process. The discovery process, where both sides exchange evidence, has been fraught with disputes. The defense has repeatedly claimed that they have not received all the evidence they are entitled to. The defense questioned a detective about cell phone logs and video searches, suggesting that key information was being withheld. They argued that this information could be crucial to their defense. The defense claimed they haven't received key evidence, including AT&T source data related to cell phone tracking. They argued that this data could shed light on Kohberger's movements. An expert testified that missing data could benefit the defense, further highlighting the importance of complete and transparent discovery. These disputes over evidence could have a significant impact on the trial. The defense argued for a change of venue, citing extensive publicity and potential jury bias in Latah County. They argued that it would be impossible to find an impartial jury in the local community. They suggested Ada County, Boise, as an alternative, arguing that the larger and more diverse population would be less susceptible to bias. This request sparked a debate over the impact of pretrial publicity on jury impartiality. Expert witnesses testified about potential biases in the local jury pool, presenting evidence of widespread negative sentiment towards Kohberger. This testimony played a key role in the judge's decision. The judge granted the motion to move the trial out of Latah County, acknowledging the challenges of finding an impartial jury in the local community. The Idaho Supreme Court ruled to move the trial to Ada County. The defense has filed multiple motions to remove the death penalty from consideration. These motions represent a significant legal challenge to the prosecution's pursuit of capital punishment. They argued that the death penalty violates international human rights law and the right to a speedy trial. They also argued that it constitutes cruel and unusual punishment. The judge initially denied these motions, but is still considering them. The judge has indicated a willingness to revisit the issue as the case progresses. The defense claims Kohberger has autism spectrum disorder, ASD, which they argue should preclude the death penalty. They argue that his condition mitigates his culpability. Judge Hippler allowed prosecutors to continue to pursue the death penalty against Kohberger, denying the defense's motions on the issue. This decision sets the stage for a potential death penalty trial. The trial date has been subject to numerous changes and delays. The initial trial date was set for June 2, 2025. The new judge considered moving the trial to May or September, but ultimately settled on a later date. The trial date was moved to August 11, 2025. Jury selection will begin on July 30, 2025. This process is expected to be lengthy and complex, given the high-profile nature of the case. The defense has filed motions to suppress evidence obtained through multiple warrants. These motions target key pieces of evidence that the prosecution intends to use at trial. This includes cell phone records, internet data, and searches of his car and parents' house. The defense argues that this evidence was obtained unconstitutionally. The defense argued the information was obtained unconstitutionally, claiming that the warrants lacked probable cause. This legal challenge could potentially exclude crucial evidence from the trial. Judge Hippler denied the defense's motions on the issue. This decision allows the prosecution to use the challenged evidence at trial. The defense requested a Franks hearing to determine if law enforcement included false statements in their warrant applications. This type of hearing is rare and requires a significant showing of potential misconduct. The defense argued important facts were left out of the affidavit, suggesting that law enforcement intentionally misled the judge who issued the warrants. This request represents a serious challenge to the integrity of the investigation. Judge Hippler denied the request for a Franks hearing, finding that the defense had not met the high burden required to justify such a hearing. This decision upholds the validity of the warrants. Recently, a partially redacted transcript from a closed hearing was unsealed, providing new insights into the case. The prosecution requested to use a model of the house during the trial. The prosecution asked the judge to bar certain defenses without prior evidence sharing, seeking to limit the defense's ability to introduce surprise arguments. A 3-person mixture of unknown DNA was found under victim Mogen's fingernails. Text messages between surviving roommates and the 911 call transcript were unsealed, offering a glimpse into the events leading up to the discovery of the crime. Kohberger bought a Ka-Bar knife and sheath on Amazon months before the homicides. Prosecutors argue Kohberger's bushy eyebrows match descriptions given by a surviving roommate. A selfie Kohberger allegedly took hours after the killings was revealed. Judge Hippler warned attorneys to stop filing so many sealed documents. He urged both sides to use the least restrictive method to protect private information. This warning reflects the judge's concern about transparency and the public's right to access information about the case. It also underscores the importance of balancing privacy concerns with the need for open court proceedings. The judge's message is clear. Both sides must strive to be as transparent as possible while protecting sensitive information. This will help ensure public confidence in the fairness of the legal process. The Idaho student killings case is a complex legal puzzle with many pieces yet to fall into place. The pretrial maneuvering provides a glimpse into the strategies and challenges that lie ahead. Stay informed and engaged as this case continues to unfold. Want to delve deeper into the legal complexities of this case? Subscribe to our channel for in-depth analysis, expert commentary, and exclusive updates. Share this video with your friends and family to spark informed discussions about the pursuit of justice. Let's stay informed together.